In 1938, southern San Mateo County began advocating for its first community hospital. Led by Mary Dove Beeger, the effort gained momentum, and in 1946, voters approved. After World War II, the region grew rapidly, and the need for accessible medical care became urgent. Frank Hanig Sr. helped secure the land that made construction possible, turning a community vision into reality.
Well, the original land was donated by the Beeger family back in the 1930s. And Frank Hanig, a local attorney, did all the legal work to do the actual land transfer and get it, owned by the hospital district. And between 1949 and 1950, Sequoia Hospital was constructed and officially opened in 1950.
By the 1970s, medicine, especially cardiac care, was changing across the country. New procedures and new ways of thinking were emerging. At that time, a group of physicians arrived at Sequoia. They believed a community hospital could do more, and they were led by Tom Fogarty.
Tom Fogarty came in 1977, and there wasn't anything here except Tom. Tom was never that interested in operating surgery. Tom understood surgery as deeply as anybody that's ever been a surgeon, but what he really wanted to do was innovate and build new businesses and do new things.
Tom Fogarty worked at Sequoia Hospital from 1980 to 1993, invented the balloon catheter, and began a culture of cardiac innovations at Sequoia Hospital.
The philosophy of the management of the hospital at Sequoia was so open to progressive thinking. They didn't cut any corners, but wow, were they open to innovation.
Sequoia was one of the first private hospitals to have the defibrillator, and so we were the first people to do human defibrillation with a biphasic waveform in the world.
So in 1989, I got to place the first tiered therapy defibrillator in a patient that was a Ventratex device.
So in 1981, I was able to do the first angioplasty at Sequoia Hospital, and we've had approval, I think, to do the first case in about a week and a half or 2 weeks.
I got involved with a company called the Close. We are the first one to do the case here in the United States with the new device, with the companies. And then again, this technology is spread throughout the country.
In 2002, we were also involved with the first use of a remote monitor to monitor an implanted cardiac device. So the patient can be at home, we can interrogate their device, and of course this has again now become the norm.
So we just had things here that were all new at the time that we happened to put in one hospital. In fact, I think at the time there was nobody in the country better at all the things we did.
These are things that I look back on now and I say, did we actually do that? But at the time it didn't seem exceptional at all. It seemed like we were having a great time. I loved working with these guys, and we all got along great. And I think that helped too. Why did we all get along so well?
I think we're stupid, I don't know.
Tolerant.
The fundamental essence of this tiny little hospital, if you will, was really unique, and I don't know if it'll ever be repeated. Really, really special.
It's really been the integrity of the physicians standing side by side with our nurses and the administrators that have allowed us to put our patient-first attitude on display. We all together have collectively created one of the most unique cardiovascular community hospital programs in the country.
In 1982, the Sequoia Hospital Foundation was established, creating a formal way for the community to invest in the future of care.
Making money in a hospital these days is not easy with the insurance issues, the Medicare issues. You always need funding, especially for equipment. And that's where the foundation plays such a big role. And I don't see that ever ending because you're always going to need money to upgrade because medical technology changes so fast.
Our dad felt the need to have a community hospital here and help raise money for so many of the important things that the hospital needs. We now have a beautiful facility, but everybody in this whole hospital is involved in seeing that people who come here are well taken care of.
There's a different form of gratitude, and it's an overall form of gratitude in your community. When you go someplace, see if you can leave it a little better than when you got there.
The foundation has built up substantially over the years, but really sort of started, I think, with a desire of physicians and families and other community members to create a philanthropic arm to be able to support the innovation that was coming into the hospital.
The foundation through time has been gracious and has funded our endeavors, both clinical and research, and we owe them a great debt. Thank you very much.
By the early 2000s, it was clear the hospital would need renovation. New standards of care, seismic requirements, and a growing community made this essential. The pavilion opened in 2014, designed to support the next generation of care.
When we actually got down to what's it going to take to rebuild this hospital is when the foundation was given our goal, which was $20 million. That was the biggest fund we've ever had to try and raise in the history of the foundation.
So my father, Steve Samplippa, was involved in the capital campaign for both the pavilion and the parking garage structure. Having sort of a state-of-the-art community hospital, it really needs to look that way from the outside, and finding sources of revenue to help support those builds was really important and happened over a process of many years, culminating in the ribbon cutting in May of 2014.
With the building of the pavilion here and essentially a new hospital setting, it really improved the patient experience. I can tell you that I don't think we've ever had a patient since that was open who've been in our hospital here and one of the neighboring well-known academic hospitals who would choose to go back there as opposed to coming back here.
Today, Sequoia Hospital stands on 75 years of care shaped by innovation, commitment, and community support.
We really want to have the state-of-the-art because that helps us do the best job, and also many of these things are also involved in increased patient safety. Donors who are willing to understand our goal to be able to continue to provide really the state-of-the-art care, they're helping patients as well by helping us.
It's always been a community hospital, but watching it develop, particularly in recent decades with the level of expertise and care that has been brought in, is really amazing.